Hello, Ben.
Hello, Yaron.
How are you?
I'm good. And hello to everybody to join us to this webinar. We're gonna start in 2 more minutes. So thank you for your patience. 1 second. Okay. Okay, so hello everybody, and again, thank you for coming to our webinar. We have a really interesting webinar today. We're going to talk about what happened in the market. We're going to see what the algorithm thinks about the market for the following weeks, following months. We have a special forecast for you and special webinar sales for you as well. And in the end of this webinar, we're going to show you what the algorithm actually thinks about the market, about the leading sector for the following month. So stay tuned to the end of this webinar. Meanwhile, while you're waiting, you can join our WhatsApp community by scanning the QR code that is on your screen. And in a few more minutes, we're gonna share the Magnificent Seven forecast for the next month. We're gonna show you which stock is the leading stock in the Max 7, and we have some interesting events happening there and who is in the bottom. So if you scan the QR code now and join our WhatsApp community, you would see the forecast in a few more minutes that we're going to share it. So you better do so. We also publish a lot of AI articles and AI forecasts in our WhatsApp group. So please feel free to join us. Uh, that's for the ones that haven't joined yet. And we have a lot of surprise of course, in this special webinar that we have. But before that, a quick disclaimer that I know First Daily Market Forecast does not provide personal investment or financial advice to individual or act or personal financial, legal, or institutional investment advisor or individually advocate to purchase or sell any of the security or investments or use of any particular financial strategy. All investing stocks forecast investing strategies include risk of loss for some or even all of your capital. So before pursuing any financial strategies discussed in this webinar, you should always consult a licensed financial advisor. And Yaron, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready, Ben. By the way, guys, you can also use the Q&A window to ask questions during this webinar. Feel free to use this option, and we will try to address as many questions as possible during this webinar.
Yeah.
And the WhatsApp link is also available in the webinar chat window. So feel free to click and join. We have very interesting period in the market, quite volatile, quite actually fascinating period. We are going to discuss it in this webinar. We are going to discuss the what do we see right now in terms of the updated forecast of the AI algorithm for the upcoming month, the opportunities that we do see, which sectors to focus on, which sectors to avoid. We're going to talk about the semiconductors industry, the software industry. It's going to be very interesting. And as Ben mentioned, by the end of this webinar, we are going to share some live focus for the upcoming month, the leading sectors and the leading industries to focus on for the next 4 weeks. I will start with a quick introduction. I know first we are AI company. Our main solution is a predictive algorithm that generates daily forecast for the financial markets and identifying the most promising investment opportunities. We are utilizing artificial intelligence, more specifically deep learning, artificial neural network, genetic algorithms to predict the financial market. The AI is generating daily forecast for over 13,500 assets from different asset classes, equities, ETFs, indices, commodities, currencies, even interest rates with daily forecast for multiple time frames, short-term, mid-term, and also long-term. This is a global predictive algorithm. We are generating daily forecast for over 50 global stock exchanges, including the stock exchanges in the US, Europe, Asia, including India, Japan, China, Hong Kong, and of course, Europe. And let's jump to the market, Ben. What do we see here? Actually, I see an old forecast here.
Yeah, this is our packages choices from the last webinar, and it's interesting to see what we actually suggested you to be in the last webinar. As you can see, our own chose a cyber and software package and the AI portfolio. I picked the ETF package, and I want to show you what actually happened from the last webinar. So if you were in the ETF package and you would buy the package and see the next day forecast, you would see those assets in the top of the forecast. I just show you the first four, but those are actually enough. If we're comparing what we're seeing here, which is the FAS, it's the financial sector, leverage by 3, and we can see the insurance company, and we can see the software sector with XSW and IGV, both representing the software sector that we saw that actually jumped by almost 3.5% from the beginning of July until now. And in the bottom, more interesting, we can find actually the semiconductors, which is the stocks, the XSD, which is also semiconductors equal weight, and EWY, which is the South Korean stock exchange. And we can see what happened to those companies, to those assets. Actually, the XSD or the stocks, as you can see here, went down by 10%. And I'm going to talk about this sector rotation that we saw already in the beginning of July. So stay tuned. But this is just a quick example for why you need to listen to our choices. And the second package that Yaron chose was the cyber and the software package. And you can see from the beginning of July, if you would enter the 1 month forecast, you would find those stocks, the 10B, the Palo Alto, Okta, Net, ZS, CrowdStrike, S, and many other stocks here that actually performed 7.8% in return in average for this 1 month, while the S&P was actually negative in the same times. So this is like a quick example of what was the choices that we made in the last webinar. And by the way, in this package specifically, if you entered it on Friday, you would find those 5 stocks in the top of it. course, we always give you 10 stocks, but we just giving you for a quick example of what are the five leading stocks, the strongest signal stock that the algorithm gave for 3 days time period. And this is from Friday, and you can find the BLKB, IDST, Microsoft, STCH. All of those made some significant return in those in this 1 day of trading actually. And in the bottom you can find Wolf and FICO that both ended with a negative return on the last trading day, again on Friday. And this forecast of the software forecast, I think it's quite amazing for this period that we are living right now with a really high volatility. Find stocks that going in the right direction, long and short, in the same a quick forecast of three days time frame. I think it's pretty amazing. So this is a quick example for the algorithm abilities. We're going to talk about the numbers. We're going to talk about the signals and the predictability that we see here. So don't worry, but just to give you a quick taste of our algorithm abilities in this forecast.
Right. So let's meet the I know first team. The I know first predictive algorithm was developed by our R&D team, quite unique team that being led by Dr. Lipa Reutemann, a scientist from the Weizmann Institute of Science, with over 20 years of experience, specifically in the AI and machine learning field. Dr. Reutemann is leading our R&D team that includes people with background of math, statistics, AI, and machine learning experts, PhDs. We have math professor from Tel Aviv University, as well as employees with the background of data science, and also math and statistics. Ben Rubin is the head of our advisory team. Ben used to work as a financial advisor for Bank Hapoalim, one of the leading banks in Israel, and now he's leading our advisory team. My name is Yaron Golger. I'm the CEO and the co-founder of I Know First. I'm also the chairman of the Israeli Export Institute FinTech board. I'm a lecturer for FinTech and artificial intelligence at the Reichman University in Israel. I'm an engineer with MBA from the Ben Gurion University. And the I know first predictive algorithm is being trusted by the world's leading hedge funds, investment houses, banks, family offices, as well as prop companies from all over the world, and also high net worth individuals and private investors from all over the world. In this list, you can find leading hedge funds, leading banks, leading investment houses, leading family offices, and also leading prop companies that utilize our technology in order to manage their portfolio by relying on artificial intelligence. We're going to showcase several use cases during this webinar and how you can use AI as part of your investment process as well. And we're going to share some live examples from our activity with those institutionals. The solution that you're about to see has received several international awards from Entity Data in Japan, from UBS, from the Geneva Wealth Tech Forum as the best AI solution for the capital market. And in our website, you can find different articles that from different magazines, from different TV channels, covering the I Know First predictive algorithm, as well as different events that we were participating, showcasing our technology. We are really proud to cooperate with with one of the leading university in Israel. We are delivering several courses for the 4th year already, and we're really proud to be part of the academia here. As mentioned in the website, you can find different articles, different TV reports about the predictive algorithm. Feel free to navigate in a webinar and to go over those articles. So what's unique about us? First, we are relying on science. The predictive algorithm was developed by Dr. Lipa Reutemann from the Weizmann Institute of Science, and we have AI professionals that working around this predictive algorithm to improve it and to enhance it. We are providing daily forecast for over 13,500 assets from 50 global stock exchanges that helping us basically to identify the best opportunities on a daily basis. And we are trusted by the world's leading hedge funds, banks, investment houses, family offices, and private investors using our technology in order to identify opportunities in the market on a daily basis.
Yep, and the ones that didn't join our WhatsApp group, you have the chance to do it now. We are going to publish in a few more seconds the magnificent seven forecast for the following month. We're going to see who's going to be the leader in those from those magnificent seven and who's going to be in the bottom. So interesting forecast. Just scan the QR code, join our WhatsApp community. We also publish there AI forecast and AI articles. So if you want to stay tuned, please scan the QR code and join the WhatsApp group.
Okay. So what do? Basically, we are offering two solutions to our client. On one end, it's possible to utilize the predictive algorithm as a decision supporting tool that basically providing daily focus for the market and identifying the best opportunities in the market on a daily basis. This is a decision supporting tool. Every day we are sending an updated forecast to your email with a forecast for 6 time frames with the best opportunities for the short term, mid-term, and also long term. So this is the first solution to use the predictive algorithm as a decision supporting tool that basically identifying opportunities for you. The second solution is basically converting the daily forecast into a portfolio, building the initial portfolio, and also conducting the monthly rebalancing of the portfolio. We do have a systematic solution that basically doing it for institutional clients. We have a solution that doing it also for retail clients, and we are going to discuss it and showcase it as well during this webinar. The difference is that this solution you are receiving this solution on a monthly basis, and the first solution is basically a decision supporting tool that's supporting you and helping you to identify the opportunities on a daily basis, basically. So those are the two solutions. And by the way, Ben already sent the Magnificent Seven forecast for the upcoming month, right, Ben?
Yeah, it's already in the WhatsApp group, so don't miss it.
Okay, great. So the I know first predictive algorithm includes 3 components that we are going to discuss during this webinar. The first one is helping us basically to identify the most promising investment opportunities on a daily basis, opportunities for the short term, opportunities for the midterm, and also opportunities for the long term. The timeframes are really important. We are going to discuss it also in the webinar, the differences between the timeframes and which timeframe you should focus on when using the predictive algorithm. The second solution is a stock market intelligence component that helping us to identify the best sectors in the market. We have seen during the last week, I would say, during the last month, that being in the right sector is very, very important, and also to know which sector we should avoid is also quite crucial. So this solution is helping us to identify the best sector, to identify the sectors that we should avoid, and also to identify regions across the globe that we should focus on and regions that we should avoid. The last solution is basically the third one, is providing us the custom forecast based on each client portfolio. So let's say Ben is holding right now Plantier, Microsoft, Tesla, and Apple. On a daily basis, we can provide Ben a custom forecast based on this universe or based his own portfolio. It could be, of course, larger portfolio. And basically, by combining those two components, it's possible to optimize our portfolio by utilizing AI. Okay, so how do we do it? We are relying on science. Every day, the AI algorithm is collecting quite significant amounts of data sets from the entire market. We are collecting data from the interest rate environment, from the equities, different stock exchanges that we are monitoring, from the commodities market, currency market. Basically, we are trying to collect every quantitative data sets that is out there. We are adding the daily data to our database. We are managing database with historical data. And around the clock, the AI algorithm is basically learning from the new data that's coming from the market, learning from the historical data as well as from the combined data. On a daily basis, the AI algorithm is building the complex network that exists in the financial markets. In the financial market, there are thousands of correlation sets that are quite dynamic. And the AI is basically able to build the complex network on a daily basis, and also to involve and to change with the market and to update those correlation sets on a daily basis. And you are receiving the bottom line of this complex process. You are receiving the best opportunities for the different timeframes that we see on the right: short-term, mid-term, and also long-term. This is a specialized AI model that being trained on this environment of the capital market. What unique in the capital market is that the correlations that in the market are quite changing. The correlation sets that relevant for the market today are not going to be relevant for the market in 1 month from now. This is exactly the relative advantage of this AI model. Every day we are building from scratch without any human intervention this complex network from scratch every day, basically. In terms of the technology, we are combining several AI methods. We are utilizing deep learning, artificial neural networks, genetic algorithms, and the goal of this complex process is to separate and to focus on the most predictable assets in the market. In the financial market, not everything is predictable. However, the AI is providing us actually daily forecast and able to separate and to focus on the most predictable assets on a daily basis. So if we're taking the Russell 2000 universe as an example, every day, the Dino First predictive algorithm is able to focus, to separate, to filter out the assets that are basically noisy, and to focus on the most predictable assets from the Russell 2000. And in this webinar, we are going to show you how you can do it as well, how you can focus on the most predictable assets from any universe that you're going to choose.
Yeah, but before that, let's see how to read this forecast. How what are all those numbers are actually telling us? So if we take one forecast as we see on the screen right now, we can see some green cells and red cells. The green cells represent a long position, while the red one represents short position. And then in each and every cell, we have the symbol of the stock or the asset that you can see here on the top. And we have two indicators that help us to focus on the best assets. So in this forecast, in the 1 month forecast, for example, we have again, you're getting on a daily basis 6 time frames of this forecast. This is one of them. This is the 1 month. And if we'll take, for example, NVIDIA, we can see that it has two indicators. The first one is the signal that is located on the center of the square. We can see it here with the number of 36.77. The signal is actually represent the predicted movement of the asset or the price deviation of the specific asset. And it helping us to actually rank the entire investment universe. So this signal that is actually our internal index is ranking all 13,500 assets that the algorithm scans on a daily basis and rank them from the strongest one with the strongest signal, as we can see here, APLD in that case, and going down to the right until we're getting a negative signal, the strongest negative signal, which is BN that has minus 7.7 in this case. That means that APLD in a 1 month time frame is supposed to move in the strongest way up, supposed to jump in the strongest way, while BN is supposed to go down in the strongest way among all of those assets that is in this table. So the signals again give us the relative movement of each and every asset. And the other indicator that we are using is the predictability that is located on the top left of each and every square, bottom left, sorry, of each and every square. In this case, NVIDIA case, it's 0.43. This is the Pearson correlation measurement, and it moves from -1 to 1. And it actually tells us how good the algorithm can predict the specific asset. So the highest the value is, the algorithm can read this asset better, can predict this asset better. And for example, if we'll take a look on like a wolf, for example, with 0.49%, it means that this asset would move up or go up in a 75% probability in the 1 month time frame. Zero in this case represent 50%, like it's like a flipping a coin, and one represent 100%. So we will always look for the highest value to get the highest predictability level, because those are the assets that the algorithm can actually predict the best. So we're going to look the highest signal values and the highest predictability values, and we're going to see some few examples from the last few days and weeks in a minute. Before that, after signing in, you will get the forecast that looks like that. You get an Excel file that looks like that. You have 6 time frames, and in every time frame, you have the best 10 assets to long and best assets to short, 10 assets to short. We have the 3 days, the 7 days, the 14 days, and you also have the longer time frames of 1 month, 3 months, and 1 year. So if I wanna trade for a period of 2 weeks, I would look on this forecast and pick the assets that has the highest values on signal and the high predictability levels. You can see that sometimes the predictability level can be in the second row, not in the first row. But the strongest signal would be always will be in the top left corner of this forecast. So this is how the forecast actually look like before the trading start. You're getting the daily opportunities, and you can choose the time frame that you want to trade on. and you choose the stocks that looks the best with the indicators that I just explained. And let's take a look on the market in the last few days and see some examples. Here we can find a 3 days time frame forecast. We can see the time frame on the top left corner, and we can see that it was generated on the 24th of July 2026. You can see the year and the date on the top of this forecast. And we can see the best 10 assets that the algorithm is actually suggesting us to hold for a period of 3 days. And we can see stocks such as Nvidia, JP Morgan, Cusco, Intuit, Netflix, ACN, Microsoft, BMI, and to the right, in this blue table, we can see the performance of those 10 stocks in those 3 days. You can see it from the 24th of July until the 28th of July, and you can see that, for example, GM made almost 12%, MMM made 7.6%, INTU made 11%, while ASTN, the consulting company, made 18%. The average of those 10 stocks is standing on 6.18%, while the S&P in the same period performed a 0.28% return. And by the way, we can find here NVIDIA in a small X that you see on the right that actually didn't go to the right direction, and we have a negative return of this specific stock. So this is how the forecast looks like, and we see some interesting stocks that the algorithm picked in the last 3 days, by the way. And we can also see it in the 7 days time frame. And here we can see the top 10 forecast. This is an interesting package that we're going to talk about it later on. In this specific package, you have 10 best stocks for the following time frame, and you also get a forecast for the index itself, for the S&P 500 index itself, in each and every top 10 package that we have. So that's a quite unique package. And here we can find that in the last 7 days, although the market was really volatile, the algorithm actually picked 10 best stocks that all went up into the right direction. We can find here stocks such as VITL, GWRE, Manhattan Associates, that we can see here, MANH, and we can see Spotify, we can see Shopify, we can see TRI, and BRBR, and all of those stocks actually performed 5.7 return in average, while the S&P 500 actually was negative in that week. So the algorithm in a negative week has succeeded to give us the best 10 stocks to hold for a period of 7 days. And that's
Look at the predictability of BR, very high predictability.
Yeah.
Even in such a short time frame.
Yeah, we can see the predictability of BR is actually Berling Brands. It's a growing sport nutrition company. It was 0.32 in this case, which is the highest predictability level out of all the 10 stocks. So we wanna have like high values of predictability. It's quite important. We also would look for high values of the signal, where we can like combine the two. And if we'll jump to the 14 days time frame, we can also find stocks such as the WeDay that we can see here in the bottom, Workday, that jumped by 20% in those 14 days time frames of the forecast. We can find Wix with 16%. We can find again MANAH with 28%. We can see DDY with 15%. And while the market went down by 3% in those 14 days, I think it's quite amazing to find going up stocks in a going down market. It's the algorithm is actually picking stock like the best stock picking that you can do from the S&P 500 and giving you the best stocks to be in. And that's actually the proof for that. This is from the 15th of July up until 3 days ago. And as long as we go to the higher time frame for here, for example, the longest time frame of 1 month, we can see that the signal and the predictability are actually getting stronger and stronger. In this case, we can find the NVIDIA, FICO, we can see Meli, Mercado Libre, we can find the Now, we can find the SPCST that jumped by 16%. Again, this 1 month forecast that was generated on 28th of June is providing us 13% while the market went up by 1%. And I think being with the 13% in the last month would be a great success for a lot of investors since we have a really high volatility month. But again, this predictive algorithm provide us the best assets to be in each and every time frame. And also, if you want to trade in the longer time frame of 3 months, if you don't like the shorter time frames, you can always focus on the longer time frames of 3 months. And here we can see the predictability again is getting higher and higher. And in this case, we have THC, for example, with 40%, DVA with 57%, and for example, NHC with 0.41 predictability, which also again is pretty high, and many other stocks that went up. Some of the stocks didn't went up. We can see it here. MOH and AKBA went to the right direction and has actually a negative return. But if you look at the general forecast, 7 out of 10 stocks is gone to the right direction, and not just gone to the right direction, also actually outperformed the S&P 500 and gave us 17% in average over 3 months. And if we take a look at the longest time frame of 1 year, if you would buy the stock that the algorithm actually suggested you 1 year ago and hold them for a period of 1 year, you would find their AMD with the strongest signal and also a performance of 165%. You would find TER with 241%, SIFY with more than 125%, LRCX, Lam Research, also with almost 200%, and an amazing 93% return in 1 year, while the S&P made 70%, which is a pretty good year for the S&P. And again, you have to focus and be in the right stocks to outperform the market. We can see a lot of semiconductor stocks. The algorithm saw the stocks sector really strong at 2025. And that would be a really successful portfolio just for buying and hold it for a period of 1 year. But we saw the semiconductors in the last few days and weeks was quite negative. And what's interesting is that the algorithm could actually identify the rotation in the market. We saw the stocks went down and the software went up. We saw it earlier at the beginning of the slides. We're going to see it in a minute. But I want to show you that the semiconductor sector was actually went down by almost 30% in the last month and a half. We can also see the South Korean index also plunging by almost 34% from the mid-June. And the algorithm
this is actually what maybe we should explain. It's not that readable. The blue line representing EWY,
yeah.
it's the ETF that representing the Korean stock exchange, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the candles there are representing the semiconductors ETF, the SOX SOXX ETF.
Exactly. The upper line is actually the semiconductors, while lower one is the South Korean stock exchange. Both of them was were really volatile in the last few weeks. Uh, but we actually saw it earlier when we actually talked about it in the last webinar, if you can recall. And let me show you some forecasts from the beginning of July and explain to you how the algorithm is actually saw that it's not really a correction in the market. It's just a rotation of leading sectors. And let's take a look at this, I think, an amazing forecast. It's from the July 3rd, and we can see IGV in the top of this forecast. It means IGV, again, is the software sector. This is a sector universe. I'm showing you the leading one and the lower one. So we have IGV with the strongest signal among all the sectors in the US market. And we can see the semiconductors, the stocks is in the bottom and red. That's actually equals to gold for a lot of investors because you can know that if you're holding a lot of semiconductor stocks, you can sell them or maybe sell some of it and go to cash and go to IGV actually and change your position a little bit in the stock exchange in the portfolio story because we saw a lot of investors have a lot of volatility in the last month. Another interesting forecast from the indices universe. This is the map that actually reads a forecast all leading indices in the world, and we can find the South Korea index in the bottom here as well. In the bottom of this forecast, in the negative side, in the red squares, we can find negative signals for the Korean stock exchange. That's also a really good forecast that the algorithm is actually provide us in the beginning of July. And again, the ETF forecast, the package that I recommended in the last webinar, and I really, really do like, told us the entire story here. We can find what to invest in, which is FAS, it's the financial sector, leverage by 3. We can see XSW, which is software. We can see IGV, which is software. We can see KIE, which is insurance. And in the bottom, you can find the semiconductors. You can find the XSD, which is the semiconductors equal weight. And you can find EWY, which is the South Korean stock exchange as well. So if you had the INO first forecast in the beginning of July, you would come ready for this volatile month in the market, and you kind of have a compass to tell you if to be in the market, where to be, what are the best sectors, and in which stocks to be in, which is like the most important thing in all of this process. And I'm guess that a lot of you are asking, what's the situation right now? Are we in a risk on market or not? So we ask the algorithm, and we're gonna see the forecast for that in 1 minute. The fourth indicator that we have for the volatile of the semiconductors universe is the semiconductors forecast itself. As we can see here, if you would had the stocks forecast, you would see that only few of those stocks were actually positive, and the almost entire forecast was painted red. This is something that should, like say, raise a red flag for investors, because if you can see all of those stocks in the red color in the bottom up look, we can see that this sector is going to be volatile for sure in the next few weeks. That was again in July 3rd, 2026. So we had a lot of, let's say, if we're checking all those three forecasts, they're actually not depending on each other. We can see the semiconductors, the universe itself, the stocks, the symbol itself, and also the bottom up, the stocks that are actually uh, are building these sectors, are in this sector, are painted red. So in the beginning of the month, we actually knew and saw that we are expecting volatility in the semiconductor universe. We knew that we should be in the software sector, and that's worth a lot to our investors and to our hedge fund clients, that we also gave them a heads up for that.
Yeah,
And
we do see here four different indicators, right, Ben,
yeah,
that pointing to the same direction. We do see the bottom up, as you mentioned here in this heat map. We do see the level 2 forecast, the forecast for the main industries in the US, pointing toward a rotation between the IGV and the semiconductors. We do see the negative prediction of the Korean market that quite correlated with the semiconductors. And we do see also in the ETF and also in the bottom up, if you remember, the ones that are basically in the bottom, we do see micron technology that is basically all this correction came from the memory, specifically from the memory subsector, let's put it this way. We saw it in Korea, then we saw it in the US. So we do see here four different indicators pointing to the same direction. And when we see something like that, we know that there is a rotation that's going on because the forecast for the market was not that positive, right, Ben?
yeah, and that's what we're gonna see actually right now. We're gonna show you the forecast from today for the market. So if we'll check the S&P forecast from today for the next few months and days, we can see that the S&P is pretty positive. It's actually really positive if we're looking at the 3 months. So right now, again, the algorithm gives us a positive prediction for the market. We also saw it in the last webinar, by the way. Again, as mentioned, we saw a positive S&P forecast, and what was volatile is the specific sector in the technology, the semiconductors, that was pretty volatile, and as we saw, went down by almost 28%. So for now, if we're checking the forecast for today, for the next few months, we have a risk-on forecast for sure. We're looking at the S&P, and it looks quite positive. So what you need to know now is where you need to be, actually, in which sector you have to be, in which package you need to be in the following month. So we also did that for you, and we're going to see it in a minute. Before that, I want to give you a few live examples from last Friday, from the last trading day, just to show you some of the abilities of the algorithm. This is the Russell 2000 forecast. Of course, in each and every forecast, you are getting the 10 stocks. I'm giving you just the strongest signal just for the examples. So VRRM and BLKB were in those 7 days forecast, and actually they jumped by almost 3% and 7% in one trading day. Again, this is a 7 days forecast, and this is the return after one trading day already. Another interesting example, it's from BHC that jumped by 14% and was in the top of this forecast. And it's also interesting to see the strength of the signal of this specific stock. BHC standing on 0.52, while the others around 2.11, 1.3, and 0.76. As you can see, 0.6, 0.58. This is like a really big difference between the average return of this average signal that we see in this forecast. So paying attention and buying BHC could be a really interesting position, as we see that it jumped by almost 15% in just one day. And again, this is a 7 days time frame. By tomorrow, you get another forecast that's telling you again what are the best stocks to be in the following week. And you might see BHC there again as well. But we're going to talk about that as well and later on. Um, Another interesting forecast that we have on Friday is the AI package, in which the AI picked the best AI stocks. And in this case, we have Microsoft with the ASTN now in the leading four signals. And in the bottom, we can find MU. And this is like amazing forecast because we saw Microsoft up by 3%. With the 1.4 and ASTN with 1.6, and also now went up by 1%, while MU, which was in the bottom in the negative signal, actually went down by 6%. This is also really interesting forecast from last Friday. But now let's see what the algorithm actually thinks that you need to be for in the following days and following weeks and months. So we're going to show you the best packages that you should be for the following month. Let's start with, again, cyber and software package. We're still seeing IGV and the software as a leading sector for the following month, and we already showed you those stocks. But if you take a look of the last month forecast, you would find again CrowdStrike, the Palo Alto 10B that is have some really good performance. We see NET and the ZS, and that actually provide us 7.8% while the market went down. And if you will go to 26th of June, you would find there again Palo Alto, 10B, JTLB, and other software and cyber stocks that we actually, this is quite a new package so that you can choose from. So the software and cyber and software package for the following month looks really, really good. So that's our first choices for the next month. And if actually you would be in this package on last Friday and you would open it in the 3 days time frame, you would find those 5 stocks that BLKB that jumped by 7%, almost 7%. You would find there Microsoft with 3%, RNG with 4%, and Wolf and FICO in the bottom with negative signal and went down according to the forecast by almost 1% and 1.45. So, and this is just for the first 3 days. So this is quite amazing for a 1 day of trading. And again, in this package, you'll get the 3 days, the 7 days, the 14 days, all 6 time frames on a daily basis. So the next package that we think that's gonna outperform the market in the next few weeks is the QQQ, the Nasdaq 100, and this is really one of our favorite packages. It chooses the best stocks out of the QQQ, out of the Nasdaq 100, and you can see an example of a 2 weeks time frame. And again, from a sector that actually was really volatile in the last few weeks, the algorithm finds stocks that jumping by 28%, 20%, 16%. This is not this is unusual and very and gives you a really big advantage in the market. You can see Nvidia is actually went down by all the 9 out of 10 outperformed the market that went down by 3%. And this package gave you 12.45% return in 14 days. That I don't think I have to actually elaborate on that. Just see the returns of those stocks from a really volatile sector.
You know what quite amazing here, because you know the volatility that we have seen during this period, Nasdaq had a drawdown of almost 10%, and the AI algorithm was able to identify to stay away from the semiconductors, as we see here, besides NVIDIA, of course, and to focus on the best part of the technology sector, and to provide this 15% outperformance.
Yep. And if you would open this forecast on Friday, you would see Microsoft and CTCH, and both of them went up by 3% and 2%. And in the bottom, you would find Intel and MU again. And this is from just from Friday, from the last trading day. And that is again pretty wonderful to see those two stocks with the strongest signals goes up and the strongest negative signals in the bottom went down, and see that the algorithm actually works in all the time frames in all the sectors. I think it's pretty exciting. And we also saw that the S&P 500 was a pretty strong sector to be in. So we also have a package for that universe, package that actually focused on the best stocks out of the S&P 500. And in this case, you can find ESX. If we look at the 7 days forecast, we can find the CPLT, we can find INTU, IT, TDD, TDD, sorry. We can find the PHM and many others that gave us 4.5% from S&P 500 stock, while the index itself made like around 1%. This is maybe it doesn't look that much, but it's pretty amazing because you're choosing stocks from the S&P 500 and you outperform the index itself, and it's hard to outperform the index. It's not easy. I guess the majority of you knows that, and by doing it so with picking stocks from the S&P 500 index itself, which usually are large and big, large cap stocks. So I think this forecast is really unique and interesting. And the S&P 500 package is also one of my favorite package. If you don't want to, get to the volatile stocks and get less drawdown in your portfolio, as Yaron mentioned, S&P 500 universe is pretty good. And the next package and sector that we think is going to be the leading sector for the following month is the financial sector. So we also have package for that. If you look at the last month, again, using stocks such as JP Morgan, such as MCO, BRO, and the PLI, that actually performed 5.4% in 1 month, while the S&P again was pretty much around zero. This also is going to be the leading sector for the following month. So financial sector look pretty good for August as well. And of course, the ETF package that I really is one of my favorite package. And here as well, you can see in the 3 months time frame, EWY that was in the green side in March 24, and actually performed 47%. The semiconductor was also pretty strong here with 78% in 3 months. We have the Nasdaq 100 and the TQQ, which then the Nasdaq leveraged by 3. We can see the Magnificent Seven. We can see India. We can see Taiwan, EWT. Taiwan Stock Exchange is also here and made 45%. You can see that the majority of this forecast is heading for technology and semiconductors, and that was really relevant on the March 24 and gave us a 30% just by buying ETF, which is I think pretty amazing. While the S&P has performed 11%. And in the same way, we can see that the ETF in the 1 year shows the semiconductors as the leading sector for the following year and this sector has made more than 100%. We can also see here the XLK, which is the technology sector. You can see XAR, which is the aerospace and defense, and many other sectors from the US market that the algorithm thinks that can outperform the market and has and going to generate really high returns, and it actually did. So ETF package is also good for, let's say, protecting your portfolio if you're looking for lower drawdowns. If you're holding ETF, you're holding multiple stocks, more than 50 stocks in one asset. So the volatility is lower. You also have a good diversification of your portfolio by picking a bunch of stock and not just focusing on one stock. And you can avoid the short squeeze. And you can also have, as we saw here, a geographical diversification. If you can also invest in Taiwan or South Korea, and while the S&P or the American market, the US market is not that strong, so it's giving you a lot of opportunities just in one package. Again, I really, really like it, and it's one of the package that we offer you for the following month.
By the way, we see again the correlation between the semiconductors and South Korea. We saw it before on the beginning of July, while we had a negative prediction for the semiconductors and also South Korea. Here we see the forecast from March, when we had an opposite signal, like a positive signal for the EWY and also the semiconductors. Almost the same signals. Quite interesting.
Yeah. And if you don't know which sector you want to be in, so you can choose one of our most popular packages, the top 10 package. The top 10 package, as mentioned earlier, gives you the best 10 stocks out of the US market. And we can see in this case, the stocks that the algorithm chose in 21 of July for a 7 days time frame. And also, addition to those 10 stocks for long, you get 10 stocks for short, as all the packages has. And you get another bonus feature in this package, which is the S&P 500 index forecast by itself. I mean, for the index itself, you're getting a forecast here. You can see the S&P here in the green box, green square, and you also get it in the top 10 and also in the top 5 package. Top 5 package is just focusing on just the 5-10 leading stocks. And so you have top 10, top 5, top 20, and this is one of our most popular package because the algorithm is actually scanning for a really large pool of stocks. And so we have a lot of opportunities in this package. And if you like a little bit more volatile universe and to add some spices to your portfolio, the top 10 could be the right package for you guys. And the last package before we're going to see some of our really interesting webinar sales that we're going to offer you. It's the more volatile universe. The first one is the implied volatility stock. So if you're looking for stocks that can, let's say, jump by 20, 30 and more percent in a week, that's the package for you. Those stocks are actually are with some high implied volatility and can do some really high returns as well. They can go down in the same way. We have to take that in advantage and of course manage our risk. But this universe is a more volatile universe that offer some really interesting engines to your portfolio that can really burst your portfolio with high returns. So in this case, we have a forecast one from 23 of March. We can find here APOD with 75%. We can find Wolf with 90%, MU with almost 150%. And this portfolio has actually gave us 53% over 13% of the S&P just in 3 months. So if you're looking for more volatile universe, this is the package for you. And the second package and the last package, it's a new package that we just launched. It's the robotic package. This specific package is focusing on robotic companies or a robotic universe. And if you look on the last Friday forecast, you would find past ZBRA, NVIDIA, AMBA, and the TRMB. And 4 out of those 5 stocks went up pretty strongly. If you can see it, AMBA with 16%, NVIDIA with 3%, and the past with 3.15% just in one day. So after we told you what we think is going to be the leading sectors for the following month, you can buy those stocks, buy those packages in a few ways. The first one, you can check our website and see the packages that the basic packages that are available there, such as the S&P 500 or the top 10. And the first webinar sale that we would like to offer you is the 1+1 sale, in which you get 2 packages for $349 per month. No commitment. You can cancel it anytime. If you just want to try some of the packages and combine whichever packages that you like, you can combine the top 10 with the AI package. You can combine the ETF with the S&P 500. You can combine any combination that you like. And instead of paying almost $540 for this, you get it for $349 for the next 24 hours. This is our first webinar sale. You can choose any 2 packages that you like, and you can try and try to experience the algorithm abilities. So this is our first webinar sale.
And by the way, all the links for the deals appearing in the webinar chat.
Yeah, you can find it in the chat or in the website itself. iknowfirst.com. You can see all the webinar sales there as well. And this is our first webinar sale that is available for the next 24 hours. All right. The second webinar sale that we have for you is the AI-powered portfolio. This is a unique product that we developed in 2025. And in this case, the algorithm is doing all the jobs for you. You don't have to pick stocks. You don't have to look on signals of predictability. You don't have to trade every day. In this case, you'll get once a month, actually once every 4 weeks, the algorithm picks the best 10 assets that you should hold for a period of 4 weeks. And that's what you have to do. You just have to buy them and hold them for a period of 4 weeks. If you don't want to look for stocks, if you don't want to trade for the short time frames of 3 days, 7 days, if you just want to run a portfolio every month and check the best stocks out of all the packages, the algorithm picks the best assets out of all the stocks that we have. What it actually do is focusing on the best sectors, as we saw earlier, and out of those sectors is stock picking the best stocks in the specific sector and combine it to one AI portfolio that is sent to you every 4 weeks. And this AI-powered portfolio you can get for $330 per month instead of $500 paid every 3 months. And again, that's the second webinar sale that we offer you. And I'm telling you, this is one of my leading products, and my favorite products, because the algorithm does all the job for you, gives you the best 10 stocks that you have to hold for a period of 4 weeks, and you get it every month. And if we're gonna take a look of the past performance of those portfolio, we can see that in April, sorry, you can see that in April we had like almost 8%. Also in March, standing almost 4.8%, while the S&P went down. We had like 11% last year and 8% and 6%. You can see that the portfolio is outperforming the market almost every month. And that is exciting. And if we're looking at the cumulative return from last year, we're standing on 37%, while the S&P is on 32%. And that's the cumulative return for the last year. We can actually have a glimpse from July portfolio. We expose here the first three stocks. We can see JP Morgan here. We can see ISC with 10%. We can see Microsoft with almost 20%. And that's really interesting. We can all of those portfolios is actually weighted by equal weighted. You're giving 10% out of the portfolio to each and every asset. And let's take a look of the June portfolio. It looks like that. You can see the 10 assets that you should hold. It could be stocks, it could be ETFs. The algorithm combines both of them. In this case, we can find Marvel, we can find Dell, MU, Qualcomm, AMD, that outperformed the market and gave us 6% while the market was negative and went down by 2%. This is, for example, the June portfolio. We can check April portfolio this year. Again, stocks such as NVIDIA, we can see the semiconductors as the ETF, Marvel, XLK, the technology sector, IYW, which is also a tech sector, and the IWB, which is the Russell 1000, for example. And again, almost 8% in 4 weeks of trading. And again, you should give each and every asset a 10% of your portfolio, equally weighted. And the next rebalance, by the way, is happening on the 19th of August. Am I right, Yaron?
Yes, 19.
Yeah, less more than 2 weeks. The next rebalance is going to happen. So you can join the AI portfolio and be part of this amazing tool. We also outperformed the market in February, as we can see, 2026. Again, the market was pretty volatile in the beginning of the year, if you remember, especially January, February, and March. And you can see here that in February, we actually had the 4.9% return, while the S&P went down by 0.2. So
Right.
this is really, really good for all the investors, again, that are looking that the AI will build their portfolio and will provide them the stocks. This is the solution for you. And for the next 24 hours, you're getting not just the AI portfolio, also in the same price, you will get the top 5 package additionally to the AI portfolio. So we have a 24-hour sales for that. Buy the AI portfolio and you get the top 5 package. Again, the top 5 package is you are getting the best 5 package, best 5 stocks out of the US market, and for 6 time frames on a daily basis. So you can combine the long-term trading of 1 month and the daily trading with the top 5 package, and you get it in the same price of $330 per month instead of $500, again, paid every 3 months.
Yeah, and another important remark, it's a long-only portfolio. We are not suggesting to stay in the short position for the entire month, of course. Therefore, it's a long-only portfolio, equally weighted. that basically you should buy at the beginning of the month and hold for the next four weeks.
Exactly. And from here, we're going into the third webinar sale that we have for you. It's the 1 year subscription in which you're getting the two packages of your choice. You're getting the AI portfolio and you're getting the AI dashboard. That some of you don't know what it is. I'm going to explain in a minute. But you get all of this in the premium, all-inclusive package that we have for you. And you get that for $399 per month. Again, paid every 12 months. And you can get it all. The two packages that you can choose, for example, the ETF and the top 10 or the AI package with the S&P 500 universe. You get also the AI powered portfolio, which provides you 10 stocks every 4 weeks, and the AI dashboard that helps you to understand and see the market, in which you'll have forecast for the S&P 500, for the Nasdaq, for the gold and silver, for the Bitcoin, and many other assets that's helping you to understand and see the market. You get all of this in a price of $399 per month. Again, paid every 12 months. You can also get the 1 year subscription sale with the AI powered portfolio with one package of your choice, and you can get that for $299 per month. That's also available in the 1 year subscription. You can choose between this subscription that gives you the AI powered portfolio and one package of your choice that is sent to you daily, or the premium sale that we have, that you can get two packages and you can change them every month. You get the AI powered portfolio and the AI dashboard for $399 per month. So you can choose between all of those webinar sales. And let's see what we chose for this month, which is pretty much similar to the last month's picks. Yaron stayed with the cyber and software package combined with the AI powered portfolio. I picked the ETF package with the AI powered portfolio as well. So this is our picks for the following month.
Yeah, I'm getting several questions here. Maybe I will go over the differences between the different deals that we do have. So the first deal is providing you basically daily opportunities, the best stock picks that the AI is identifying on a daily basis. So every day you're going to receive to your email the best opportunities out of the package that you're choosing, or the universe that you are going to choose, whether it's the top 10 or the IGV, the software universe, or the technology universe, or the robotic universe. You can mix and match, choose two packages, and from this stage, every day before the market opening, you are receiving daily forecast with 6 different time frames, the best opportunities for the short term, mid-term, and also long term. The second deal is providing you basically a monthly portfolio. Every month, every 4 weeks, you're going to receive a portfolio, a long-only portfolio that includes stocks and ETFs that you should buy today and hold for the next 4 weeks. And as a gift from Ben, for the next 24 hours, you're going to receive the top 5 stock picks as well, so you can combine the monthly portfolio with the 5 best stocks that the AI is identifying on a daily basis for the short term, mid-term, and also long term. So it's in a way, it's also combination of a monthly package and also daily package with the 5 best stocks that you should buy every day. The second one, or the third one, includes basically if you would like to receive the AI monthly portfolio in a discounted price with a package of your choice. Here you can choose from any package that available in the website. You can choose the robotics package, you can choose the quantum package, you can choose the technology package. Basically, you can choose any package that's available in the website, including the software and cybersecurity package, or any package that we discussed during this webinar. And the last one is basically all-inclusive one. You can choose 2 packages of your choice, 2 daily packages of your choice, the AI monthly portfolio and the AI dashboard that Ben will discuss and elaborate pretty soon. All the links are available in the webinar chat again. Yeah.
Yeah, and the webinar chat and in the inoceans.com website, you can also find all of those webinar sales that are available for the next 24 hours. All right, so what is the AI dashboard? In a quick review, you're actually getting a full insight of an overview of the market. You can see many indicators on a daily basis and see if where the market goes to. If it's the S&P 500 index, it's the Q or the QQQ, or the oil services, as we can see here with OS6, or the Russell 2000, the Nasdaq, the Dow Jones, RSP, which is the S&P equal weight, which is interesting in those days. You can see the volatility index, the VIX, on the market. If the VIX is with high signals, you would know that the market is expecting volatility. We can also get the gold and silver forecast in this AI dashboard. The government bonds, the interest rate of the 10 years government bonds, the German DAX, the Bitcoin forecast, the dollar index, and many other currencies and indicators that will help you to understand where the market goes to. I'm telling you, the majority of our hedge fund clients are using this forecast by themselves to get the global view of what's going to happen in the market. So I highly recommend on the AI dashboard, and you can choose it in the 1+1 or the one of the annual subscription that we offered you in the webinar sale. Now for the red side. Yaron, you wanna scare let's scare them a little bit.
No, but actually, this is what interesting, because this is not a situation that we are experiencing right now. Sometimes, there is volatility in the market, and we do see this red hit, but this is not the situation that we see right now. This is what's interesting about the situation in the market. We experience some volatility. However, right now the picture is quite positive if we discussing the S&P 500 forecast, as you mentioned in the forecast that you shared before. However, in some situations in the market, there is a negative forecast for the S&P 500, and it's very important to monitor this S&P 500 forecast, because it's providing us indication regarding a negative market and quite corrections in the market. Actually, we have seen it last year. On the right side, we do see the 14 days forecast that the algorithm was generating on March 27th last year. As we all remember, on April 2nd, we had experienced tremendous volatility in the market because of the tariffs. But But we can see that already almost 1 week before, we have seen that the strongest signals came from the bottom of the heat map, and the S&P 500 forecast was quite negative back then. And after 14 days, we have seen quite a sharp movement of the market. We have seen the negative movement of the market. The S&P went down by almost 8%. And here we can see the performance of the positions that were highlighted for the short side, short selling side back then. We have seen it also in 2020, in the 3 days forecast, 25 of February 2020. We see negative forecast for the S&P 500, and the strongest signals came from the bottom. How you can track this important indicator? The top 5, top 10, and top 20 packages includes daily forecast for the S&P 500 in the very same way that we have seen before when Ben shared the live S&P 500. This package providing you very important information regarding the S&P 500. We have seen it also this year. Back on March, we have seen negative focus for the S&P, and the strongest signals came from the bottom of this heat map. And again, the S&P went down during this period, as we see here. So take advantage of this indicator. Ben today introduced 2 deals that includes the top 10 and the top 5 package. The first one is the deal number 1, the 1+1, and also deal number 2 that includes the AI portfolio and the top 5 stock picks. This package also includes S&P 500 forecast. And because I know that there are many people that were not in this webinar on the beginning, the updated forecast is positive for the S&P 500. So don't take this part as future forecast.
Yep, right now we are seeing the market in a risk on, and more than that, we're going to see the algorithm forecast for all the US sectors in the end of this webinar. It's going to happen in a few more minutes, actually. So stay tuned, and we're going to see again what are the best sectors to be in for the next month. But before that, a few slides for our institutional clients that in the crowd. We also provide automatic trading, and we are building special strategies for our hedge fund clients and institutional clients. One of those strategies is the combined strategy, which is a long or short strategy that actually basically built out of sectors from the level 1 and the geeks level 2. And combining sectors with stocks. Actually, in this strategy, we are holding 5 predictable stocks out of the S&P. This strategy is actually built, the majority of it, from around 80%, is actually sectors and 20% stocks. And that actually brings us to a really beautiful returns in the last 6 years, past 6 years. We can see that this strategy has performed for 824%, while the S&P made 132%. The rebalance happens once every 4 weeks, and the algorithm provides 11 assets to hold, again, for a period of 4 weeks for long or for short in that case. And if we'll check the return in the last years, from the beginning of 2020, we can see that the strategy is actually outperforming the market, even in a volatile years such as 2022, sorry. And we can see that the algorithm has actually provided a positive return while the S&P went down by almost 20%. We can see it in 2025 and 2026. But the most interesting thing that we see and we like in this strategy is actually the drawdowns. and we experienced what drawdown can do to hedge fund in actually in the last few days. If we're talking about the situational awareness hedge fund that crashed in the last few days. We had that's the story of the rotation that we saw. They made some really big short on the semiconductors, and then what that was leveraged by 4 times, and we saw what happened, what Jordan can do. They got pretty quick margin call, and they have to close all their positions, and that when the semiconductor jumped in the last few days in the market. So drawdown is a really important issue, especially to hedge funds. And here we can compare the drawdown of the strategy every year compared to the S&P, and we can see that in the majority of the times we are similar to the S&P or even less than in the S&P. So that's something that we're really proud of. All the risk measure, the Sharpe ratio and the Sorrentino are amazing and good, and that's what we like about this strategy, giving us good performance and keeping it with a low risk. And this is an example of how this strategy looks like if we're taking June. So we can find XLK, XLY, XLF, the three main sectors here from the GEEX level 1. The algorithm is actually giving weight to those sectors. He gave 35% to XLK, that went up by 6%. We can see IGV here, the subsector, and the semiconductors. We can find Marvell, Dell, SMCI, and many other stocks that really outperformed the market. Dell with 52% and made some significant return. And we outperform the market on June. And if we have any institutional clients in the crowd, please feel free to reach us. You can reach us by the website or send the email to my email address that you can see on the screen, benr@iknowfirst.com. We will happy to collaborate with you. So before we're gonna see the algorithm forecast for the next month, some other three other unique packages that we have. If we have any crypto lovers in the crowd, we have some interesting actually forecasts for the Bitcoin, and we also have a really a good forecast for cryptocurrencies. More than 75 cryptocurrencies are available in more than 4 different packages that we have for that universe. So you can try and experience this package. We also have the world indices in which we saw the South Korea and the Taiwan Stock Exchange. We can also see we have a global view of the world indices that you can see in this package. I also really like this package. And commodities, of course, more than 50 commodities, if it's the natural gas, if it's the gold, silver, cacao, and many other metals as well, is included in this specific forecast if you're looking for trading at commodities or futures. And now I think we're ready to expose what the algorithm thinks would be the best sectors for the following month. But before that, we're going to do a quick review of our webinar sales again. So we have the 1+1 webinar sales for $349 per month that you can get two and combine two packages that you like. If it's the top 10, if it's the ETF package, if it's the AI package, or the software, cyber and software package. This is available for the next 24 hours, 1+1 for all the packages that we showed you on this webinar. The second webinar sale is the AI portfolio. You don't have to do anything, just to buy and hold those stocks every 4 weeks. And in this special sale, you have the top 5 package as a for free for the next 24 hours in the same price. This is $330 per month, paid every 3 months, instead of $499 that you paid on a regular the regular price for this product. So Russian use this webinar sale too that we have for you for the next 24 hours. And the third webinar sale that we have for you is the premium all-inclusive package that you can get the 2 packages of your choice and combine any packages that you like. You get the AI-powered portfolio as well, and the AI dashboard in one subscription. It's for $399 per month, and you get all of those products paid every 12 months. Again, available only for the next 24 hours. So if you want to control the market and diverse your portfolio and have many tools to the short time frame, to the medium time frame, and to the long time frame, you can use this webinar sale number 4. The AI dashboard tells you where you need to be in the market, which indices are strong, shows you volatility levels, and many others assets that you can view on a daily basis. So this is our premium inclusive subscription, in which you can get all the things that we talked about in this webinar in one subscription. So feel free to join in the next 24 hours. All right. Let's see what the algorithm thinks for the next month. And this is a live forecast from today. Only 2 hour webinars crowd here, and we can see that the forecast for the following month is that the software services again are in the leading spot. We can find Nasdaq 100. Also, the QQQ looks good. We can see capital market. We can see communication, XLC. We can see the Indian market is also looks quite surprisingly good. Insurance company and XLF finance look quite strong. The S&P is leading this forecast from the indices universe after the Nasdaq 100. STEC 7E, this one is the European banks. We can see the finance sector, XLF. HAC is the cyber security, and XLY, which also looks quite strong.
Quite interesting.
Yep, focusing on the cyber security could be a good combination, as Yaron suggested. We also see the QQQ pretty good. Again, you have to know in which stocks to be in the Nasdaq and the technology sector. We saw that in the last month. You should know by the algorithm, it can help you to focus on the best stocks out of this sector. So this is the forecast, the algorithm forecast for the following month.
Yeah, it's interesting to see on one hand, of course, the technology and specifically the software, but also the finance. We see a lot of banks, not only from the US, but also from Europe, even from Tel Aviv. Quite interesting to see that. And of course, the regional exposure in terms of the US, of course, is leading, but also India is quite interesting.
Yeah. If you want a diversification of if you want to see some other areas in your portfolio and not just focus on the US, India can be an interesting opportunity. So that's what the algorithm shows for the next month. So let's see if we have some questions from, and we do have, oh wow. Okay, let's try to answer some questions from the crowd.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Do you have a prediction for two and up to 2 and 5 years? Our longest time frame is 1 year. So, but you're receiving it on a daily basis, so you can actually maintain a long-term portfolio by using the daily predictions that you are receiving. Um, okay, is it possible to pay monthly or yearly? Ben?
Again, it's depend on the sale. We can see that the 1+1 is a monthly payment without commitment, and you can cancel it every month. And the AI portfolio is quarterly paid once every 3 months, and the 1 year subscription is paid every 12 months. So it depends on the webinar sale.
Right. By the way, in terms of your idea to focus on ETFs, I think it's a very good idea because right now we saw some volatility. Using the ETF forecast can be not such a bad idea during this period. And as you mentioned, and I think now you understand why actually I chose the software and the cybersecurity um, package because of the focus that you have seen with us. We do see this, that the software is here to stay, continuing to be quite a strong industry to focus on. So it's quite interesting for you for the upcoming month, I believe. Okay. So if you're using the annual deal, you need to pay to get the discounted rate by paying annually. And if you choosing the monthly package, you can pay every month. We do offer also predictions for India. I do see questions whether we offering a daily focus for India. It's available in the website as well. So you can choose it in the website. And also it's part of the webinar deal, of course. Ben, there is a question, what is the hedge fund package?
The hedge fund package is a package that holds basically the pool of stocks that was held by the leading hedge fund in the US. Of course, they have to publish their holdings every quarter. So this package is actually following the stocks that they're holding, and the algorithm is actually scanning this universe and brings you the best stocks out of their holdings. So if you're interested in the hedge fund package, it's also available in the 1+1 deals and in the annual deal as well.
Right. Okay. Any additional interesting questions?
We answered most of them.
Yeah, I believe so.
But if you have any other questions, please feel free to ask us via mail, our support mail, or the chat, and we'll be happy to answer. And I hope you find this webinar interesting. We had a lot of topics discussed, and we really hope that you're going to try and use this advanced technology into your portfolio and try to work with our algorithm to find the best opportunities in the market. I assure you, you'll be fascinating and we think it will be interesting in any product that you choose. So thank you guys for your time and thank you, Yaron, for
Thank
this
you, Ben.
webinar. And until next time.
Thank you, Ben, for such an interesting webinar. Okay.